guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another MCU movie, or I guess a TV show review. I know we're going from movie to TV show, I can't keep them straight, but we are reviewing Hawkeye Season 1, or iHawk, I guess, if you do this. No, that doesn't work. I don't know. I tried to do a joke, didn't work. Yeah, so we're doing Hawkeye Season 1, and yeah, so basically from my title, right, does this show miss the mark, right? Now, I've heard a lot of complaints over the years of a lot of things, and regarding this show, you know, the common complaints have been that this Hawkeye show, called Hawkeye, doesn't really focus on Hawkeye, right? You've seen it in, like, Loki Season 1, where it's called Loki, but it's really about Sylvie, you know? And you can kind of take that either way. You know, some people think it's a woke agenda with, you know, the MCU, right, where you got the women are better than the men and all that, and we've touched on that, and thankfully this really isn't a woke show, thank God. But the Black Widow movie had some issues with that, and there's are some elements in that kind of carry over into this show. But for the most part, I think this is a pretty great show upon rewatch. Again, I think that a lot of it works, especially because of the Christmas setting. I think that's kind of cool. Obviously we haven't really seen that much besides maybe like Iron Man 3. For Christmas, you know what I mean? Unless I missed something. But it's really cool to have like the Christmas songs and the Christmas aesthetic, and you have all these crazy plots. It opens, by the way. You have all these crazy plots where, you have Hawkeye's thing, you have Kate Bishop's thing, you have freaking Kingpin showing up, you have Maya, Echo, not Echo Killshot, not Echo from Bad Batch, Echo the blind, deaf, not blind. She's not blind and deaf, she's just deaf. But yeah, I think it's, there's a lot of plot lines in this movie, and then on top of that you have Ken Clint making home for Christmas to his family, you know what I mean? And spoiler alert for the show, he effing does, but it's a very satisfying thing to kind of watch and see that kind of go. With 6 episodes though, there are, like I said, a lot to cover. Really, again, this is about Hawkeye and kind of how he is dealing with the whole Ronin situation. In between Infinity War to Endgame, dealing with the death of Black Widow, Natasha, and then, the whole Christmas thing as well. He just kind of wants to leave this behind him and just go back home and retire and just. Maybe not retire, but just kind of go home and chill with his family. And then you get Kate Bishop, who is kind of, I don't want to say the main character, because again, the show's called Hawkeye, but, a common complaint is that it's really mostly about Kate Bishop, which I get. This has nothing to do with her being a woman, okay? I know some people think that, oh my god, it's a female, it's woke! But no, in the comics, Kate Bishop is a woman, and she's a good character in the comics. So it makes sense, It is weird, like with Black Widow, they made Taskmaster a chick, but it makes sense within the narrative they were trying to tell. This, it makes sense she's a girl. So there you go. But I think that she does a great job. Of course, I've only seen this actress in Bumblebee. I don't even freaking know her name. But it's not even another thing. It's not, whatever. But, she does a good job. And everyone, of course, in the show does. But Kate Bishop kind of, is a very unique character in that she is essentially, she really idolizes Hawkeye and wants to be like Clint when she grows up and do all these crazy things because of, the stuff that happened when she was a little girl and, her dad sadly died and Hawkeye kind of saved the day and showed her that you don't need superpowers and you don't need to freaking fly into those crazy shit and turn into Hulk for you to be a hero, you know what I mean? And that really stuck with Kate, and that's a good message for anyone, really, And Kate kind of, trained over time and she got better. There are, 1 or 2 moments where I think she really kind of gotten her butt handed to her. She really, she should have gotten effed up. Now, I don't want to see this character die in the first episode because that'd be stupid. But, I get it. You get a girl who can, do black belt and she can fight and she's good at archery. But, when she's taken on... I think it's either the first or I think it's the first episode where like she's in the auction and she's like taking on like 6 people, like 6 big buff ass dudes who are just like, they can't seem to knock out a teeny girl. It's kind of weird, I get it. She's the hero. She trained. We're not gonna. It'd be a little awkward to see 5 dudes beat the shit out of a teenager, but at the same time, I know the MCU isn't realistic, but it is a bit odd that they kind of portray that, like, either these are the dumbest guys in the world, which a lot of them are, because they're always saying, come on, bro, like those guys, the help a bro or whatever, those people. The one guy looks like the guy who directed John Wick. I don't know if it's him, but it looks like him. But, again, for the most part, I think Kate is, I don't want to say well-balanced, like it's a freaking fighting game. But, there's 1 or 2 moments where I'm like, maybe that wouldn't have happened. But, obviously none of this would probably happen in real life. But even for Marvel, that was pushing a little bit for me. But I think Kate, you know, like I said, she wants to do good, and you know, obviously she kind of teams up with Clint, and they kind of have this adventure together, which is really cool. And you know, I like that Kate is trying to kind of just, you know, be a good person and help out, and she discovers this crazy conspiracy with her family. And Clint's just like, hey, I want to effing go home and forget all this happened. But you know, through the episodes, and you know, through the 6-episode arc that we get here, Kate kind of, you know, ends up befriending Hawkeye, and they kind of, you know, they become partners, not in a sexual kind, but in a, you know, in a police kind of partner way, where they kind of work together and they're able to help each other kind of solve these problems. And then you get the whole Maya, I think it's Maya Rudolph. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't think it's Rudolph. I don't know. But it's Maya, Echo, the girl. And, you know, she is, of course, another new character as well. I don't know if she's in any comics. I haven't read any comics with Echo in it. But, you know, she's I don't want to say good character, but she's interesting. You know what I mean? She does some interesting stuff. She obviously, you know, wants to kind of leave, same with that other weird Kazi dude or whatever. And she's just kind of trying to leave all this behind her as well, and kind of also stop Ronan, because, you know, Ronan, Hawkeye, killed her family, and she kind of has this vendetta, revenge against him. And then, of course, you know, she ends up working with Kingpin, and you know, shooting him in the face, and that's why in the Echo show, which I haven't seen yet actually, but I'm going to get to it with my review series, Kingpin does have a bandage over his eye, so Kingpin is canonically not dead. You guys know that already, but I feel like I had to say it. But overall, like I said, oh yeah, you got Lucky the pizza dog too, so you got Lucky the dog, so that's kind of cool. But I think what this show does well is, like I said, it you know, has a specific theme with the Christmas thing, but it also has a good plot. You know, it's a good plot with Hawkeye and how he's dealing with whatever, you know, everything that's going on. Same thing with Yelena Belova, Natasha's, you know, sister, who wants to kill him, because obviously if you've seen the Black Widow post-credit scene, you'll know that she kind of got set up and was told specific things about Hawkeye. And then you get, like I said, Kate, who basically just wants to help out and, you know, really kind of live up to the hero that she kind of quote-unquote worships with Hawkeye. And they end up teaming up and doing some really cool stuff. And again, I like the family aspect. I like that Kate, you know, her stepdad, she thinks he's really evil, and he's like Armand or whatever, he dies. And, you know, there are some genuine good, you know, conspiracies and good mysteries and good thrills that happen in this, where like, oh shoot, it's that guy. It's like Scooby-Doo, right? Oh, it's that dude, or Scream, or Knives Out or something. Turns out to be a completely different person and all that. And I like that, you know, it's kind of cool. But one of the bigger things, obviously, with Kingpin is that when this show came out, you know, the whole internet, it was freaking World War III in terms of Marvel, right? Because the whole internet's like, oh my God, Kingpin, it's Vincent D'Onofrio or whatever. You know, is this, you know, is the Daredevil stuff canon to this? Because this is not, you know, this is MCU Marvel. This isn't Netflix Marvel. What's going on? And no one really knew, right? You had one director being like, yeah, this is like a new version, you know, and then the Kingpin actor was like, no, it's the same freaking version, stupid. And obviously in this year, recently, I think at the beginning of this year, we found out that everything Netflix, from, you know, Iron Fist to, you know, Punisher, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Defenders, all that stuff, which when they released were canon to the MCU because they directly freaking reference it. I guess when WandaVision came out, they were like, no, you know. But thankfully, they grew some brain cells, which I've been losing recently, and just school shit. And you know, they have this helped me gain a few. You know, they were able to kind of recanonize, so to speak, the Netflix stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool to say now definitively that the version of Kingpin in this show is the same version that was in the Netflix Daredevil show and all these other, you know, Netflix things, because they're all connected, right? Hopefully you've seen my MCU Marvel canon video, which was a few days ago. I kind of go over everything that's officially canon to the MCU, either directly or indirectly through the multiverse. And that's really cool stuff, you know what I mean? So I think that's really interesting. Obviously, they really built up to that. Oh, who is Echo's, you know, who is her dad or her father figure? Who is this big bad guy in charge that Hawkeye keeps saying is like the scary dude? And yeah, it's crazy to see Kate, you know, go up against him in the final episode, and some really great stuff. But you know, really what kind of carries the show, beside the whole Christmas aspect of it and just the theming of this, is the team between Kate and Clint. I think they do a really good job of kind of, you know, at first they kind of hate her. Clint kind of hates her, and you know, she's kind of like, maybe this guy's a little weird, but I still have faith. And then Yelena kind of shakes it up and is like, oh no, you know, Clint's a really effing bad dude. And then obviously we find out, you know, that Clint, you know, Yelena was wrong. But it's really cool. And then by the end, they have these, you know, awesome action scenes and all that, where, you know, they're kind of working together. Speaking of the action, though, it's freaking phenomenal. You know, really, really great stuff. Episode 3 has a really great car chase where, you know, Hawkeye's driving this car, and Kate's, like, you know, leaning at the window, shooting arrows and shit, and it's like a oneer, you know what I mean? A oneer in film is I don't know if it's the real term, but a oneer or one shot is when you have, you know, a action scene or a scene that is one continuous shot or is stitched together with editing to make it look like one continuous shot, which most of the times they are like that. You know, you look at Kingsman, for example, there's like a fudge ton of oneers in there, but, you know, obviously it's impossible to do all that. You know, they didn't actually murder everyone, you know, they had to do some editing in there. Same thing here, pretty much, you know, you have her kind of, you know, the camera inside the car doing a 360 pan, you know, the car stops and then the glass shatters and then she's shooting arrows and all that, and, you know, Hawkeye's got some crazy trick arrows in there. Really good directing with the action. Again, as far as negatives, I guess, you know, I don't even know, like, I'm trying to think, you know, I love the action. I think there was really no bad CGI, you know, thankfully. The acting was great. The writing was great. I mean, you know, I like the elements of, you know, who did what and who's really the bad guy and all that. I like the mystery aspect, like I said, with Clint and Kate kind of working together and figuring things out. Of course, the suspense is great as well. When, you know, I had to wait a week to this. Now I can just watch 2 or 3 a day on this thing, so that was good. But you know, like I said, I love the aspect of, you know, we're dealing with these new Avenger type things, right? You get like Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop. Other people, and then, you know, Thor's daughter, which I don't think we're ever gonna effing see again. I think she's just dead or something, I don't know, but, you know, it's interesting to see that, you know, we get this new character of Kate, and I guess Sylvie's kind of there too, but, you know, Kate is this brand new character, and through that backstory, we're able to kind of, you know, understand her backstory and her, you know, her upbringing, and kind of, you know, figure out who she is as a person, and how she kind of works with Clint and all that, and how she can kind of work her way around things. Obviously, this is not the girl power MCU woke fest that the internet said it would be. It is, you know, there are a few instances where, okay, maybe we can see more Hawkeye. You know, there's a lot of scenes where Hawkeye's just laying on the couch, just you know, shit's kicked out of him. He's got green bean from the freezer on his shoulders. He's taking a nap with Lucky. He's eating dinner, and then we switch over to Kate, and she's doing this crazy action shit, and she's beating up 17 dudes. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You know, I understand why people could think this is woke, or this is, you know, oh, there's too much Kate and not enough Clint in the show called Hawkeye. But at the same time, I think that both characters are well written, and because of the circumstances with Yelena and what you know, Clint is dealing with at this time period in the MCU continuity, it makes sense that he's not, you know, what he was in Avengers 1, where he's just jumping from rooftops and stuff. You know, it makes sense. So yeah, I don't really agree. I think that this is a good, if anything, you know, by the end of the show, it's kind of a good passing of the torch. I don't think that's really what's going to happen. I think that Jeremy Renner is still going to be Hawkeye. I don't think he's done. I don't think, you know, he's clearly not dead. I doubt he's going to be retired. You know what I mean? I think we're going to be seeing more of Kate Bishop in the future with like a new Avengers or a young Avengers movie. You know, so she's going to obviously have more play, right? They're kind of literally making her the next Hawkeye, right? That's the whole freaking point. It's like Cars 3, you know what I mean? Lightning McQueen is getting Cruz Ramirez to be the new champion type thing. So I get it, you know, I understand. I'm not stupid, but at the same time, there are instances where I'm like, okay, maybe we could see a little bit more Hawkeye. And, you know, by the end, we're getting a whole bunch of Hawkeye action, so it balances out. But yeah, I mean, you know, upon rewatch, I never really got the sense that, you know, one character was, you know, Kate was stealing the show from Clint, and you know, Hawkeye had nothing to do with it. Hawkeye just pissed off into the corner, and she did everything. You know, like, there are moments where Kate literally, like, the first thing we see of Kate as her, not the little girl version, she literally F's up something, right? She shoots the arrow into the bell tower and makes a mistake. So, no, she's also not a Mary Sue, because, again, a Mary Sue is a female character in fiction that is perfect. Makes no mistakes. If a character makes one mistake, she's automatically not a Mary Sue. I did the same thing with Rey Skywalker, same thing here with Kate Bishop. Not a Mary Sue. She is good at things, but she's not just good because she's a woman, right? She's good because she trained and she has all this behind her. So I don't really think there's a woke writing issue here, what some people were saying. I think that this is very, you know, obviously the one LARPer is like, oh, my wife, you know, there's a lesbian reference, but that's the most, like, who gives a fuck? You know, that's the most minuscule thing you can be mad about ever. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, like I said, I genuinely was surprised. You know what I mean? I remember kind of disliking the show a little bit because of the inclusion of Kingpin when it first released. So I was like, oh, you know, that's what I was doing. I was doing that. I was going in front of the TV like an idiot. And, you know, upon rewatch, I wasn't doing that, actually. It was great. You know, I'm like, oh, wow, this is canon now, so this isn't confusing anymore, which I get it. You know, in the multiverse saga, you have one person saying one thing, one person saying another. Beside the point, though, I do love the fact that we do, get this Christmas aspect. As I said, I like the, like Hawkeye gets stuck in a Christmas tree. So just, funny things like that. Some good, good like jokes and writing all around. The jokes are pretty good. Again, I don't think any of the jokes were really that bad or that cringy. The LARPing thing was interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. How Hawkeye's basically just done with all this crap, and he's got to go and get his suit. And he's like, fighting, and it's like slow motion. I think they did a good job with putting Christmas songs into certain scenes to kind of make it more jovial or upbeat. Because again, this is a very violent show. People are getting punched and kicked and stabbed and shot with arrows, shot with bullets. People getting shot in the face, explosions, blood. It's not like a family-friendly Christmas, let's watch it with a 4-year-old type thing. But it has that essence to it where I'm in, we're not even in freaking October yet. We're in the end of September, and it got me in a Christmas mood. You know what I mean? It was weird. But, like, even the end credit scenes where it's like Bert and Bertie, I don't know who that is, but the two directors who do a lot of these episodes, they, obviously the credits are really great as well. So yeah, man, I genuinely enjoyed rewatching this show. Is it the best Marvel show ever? Probably not, but again, as far as the negatives, I can't really say that I have that many. I think it was really well written, good acting, great action. I think that they handled the character of Kate and Clint really well. I liked Maya as Echo. I thought she was cool. Obviously not a great character because we barely see her in this. She's kind of doing her own little thing. Obviously she wants revenge and all that, and so does Yelena. And I do like that we kind of get that kind of not to be Christmas jokey, but the tie a bow around everything, so to speak, in terms of really wrapping up. There you go. You gotta like the video now. Wrapping up the character arc of Yelena and kind of everyone. By the time this show is over, I don't want to say the chapter on Black Widow and Natasha Romanoff is closed, but there is some sense of closure to not only Hawkeye as a character, but also Yelena and what she was doing, and it opens the door for Hawkeye to be training with Kate. And for him to keep going, for her to keep going, for, we're going to be getting the Echo show, which I'm going to be watching soon with Maya, so she's returning. Kingpin is back. Obviously, he got shot in the face, but he's still alive. So, it does leave the door open for a lot more, but at the same time, like I said, ties a neat little bow around everything and kind of wraps stuff up in a neat way, where by the end of it, I was like, all right, Hawkeye learned a lesson, right? He put the Rona thing behind him. He realized that, maybe he isn't just a killer for hire, that he does have some effect on people in a good way, like Kate was saying. I think it's some really great stuff there, really good messaging, and all around just a really fun show. But tell me down below what you think about Hawkeye Season 1. Do you think we're going to be getting a Hawkeye Season 2, or do you think we're just going to be getting Kate Bishop in another, Young Avengers type movie? Again, I think we're still going to be getting a Hawkeye as a character with Clint Barton. I don't think he's done, or nothing like that. This isn't like Indiana Jones 5 where he's done forever, type thing. It leaves the door open for more for sure, but I am glad that I bought this on Blu-ray, again, eCreator or Etsy. Disney Plus, I freaking hate the ads. So yeah, this was cool to watch in HD without any ads, and I can watch, 2 or 3 without buffering and any of that weird crap. So yeah, really good. Again, I enjoyed this show for what it's worth. Better upon rewatch for sure. And again, I like the aspect of Kate's family. I'm looking at the back cover here. Kate's family, her mom and her stepdad, all the mystery elements. Really great stuff. Again, I don't want to be repeating myself, but I thought it was really well handled with all the different aspects that they were trying to do. But yeah, like I said, as far as negatives, I really don't have that many. Maybe 1 or 2 jokes didn't land. Maybe there was one line that was a little bit wonky, but I'm really scratching the surface here. I genuinely like this show, and I think that it was a really smart decision to have it at Christmas and to have it, have this kind of holiday cheer kind of feel to it, even though it's, like I said, a very violent show. Again, it made this feel a more unique project than just saying, oh, it's in the middle of summer and everything's dark and gloomy. It had a very unique aspect to it, and I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Hawkeye show, and so far, out of all the MCU shows I've watched, what are your favorite? Again, I'm going to give Hawkeye from a 0 to a 10. Probably give it like a 9 or a 9.5. Again, I really enjoyed it upon this rewatch, second rewatch, and just like I said, man, it's a really fun show. And now knowing that Kingpin and all that is canon, I haven't seen any of the Netflix stuff, but I'm very much excited to watch that now that it is again part of the MCU. Again, it's a really weird thing to say, but I'm excited to continue with this. After this, though, we got Spider-Man: No Way Home. And then the Moon Knight show, which is my favorite MCU show so far. Maybe upon rewatch it won't be, or it still will be. Who knows? But anyway, Spider-Man: No Way Home is next. Can't wait to cover that movie. And like I said, once we finish the MCU stuff, we will be watching the MCU stuff, right? Like Deadpool 1 and 2, for example. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, those count, right? We'll be getting to those too after the main MCU stuff is over with, I believe Agatha All Along is the newest thing, which I heard interesting things about. So that'll be fun. But anyway, I can't wait to watch the rest of the MCU with No Way Home next. Again, tell me what you thought about Hawkeye. I thought this was pretty great. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. And leave a like so that Lucky the pizza dog can get another slice of pizza. So I don't make the rules. You have to do that. It's part of the guidelines. Anyway, thanks guys. See you later.